Welcome, everyone. You are listening to the third episode of a show called Overtones on WLXU 93.9 LP FM Lexington, and I am Renee Collins, your host. Each week at this time on Mondays from 3 to 4 p.m., this show will bring you, the listening audience, the very best in local musicians, local venues who support those musicians, local organizations that promote music performance and education that this great city of Lexington has to offer the fans of music in the area and beyond. It's a very exciting lineup today as we have three duos. Yes, you heard it right. Three, let's call it dynamic duos. In the studio today, we have the duo Joanna James, we have the duo A Little Bit More, and we have Ray and Whitney. So how about a round of applause for everybody for being here today? And also in the studio, we have Mike Mankel from Mike Mankel's Bourbon Barrel Guitars. The opening song, of course, is the new theme song, and we'll be ushering in every episode of Overtones. Brother Smith was singing Happy Tunes, and they are also a winner for Best Pop Band for the 2018 Lexington Music Awards, and it was just really wonderful to see them get recognized the other night. And that is one of our many topics for this show today. The other topic we're going to discuss is this week's Red Barn Live, which will feature Narrow Road, who are a bluegrass gospel band from Berea, Kentucky. They've performed at Renfro Valley, American Crossroads Radio Show, and countless churches. That's Narrow Road this Wednesday live on the Red Barn stage at Lexington Arts Place, 8 p.m. Now it's time for a Red Barn recap and to talk about the electrifying performance by Lexington's Magnolia Boulevard. And in the studio today to talk about this is Mike Mankel from Bourbon Barrel Guitar. And Mike was in the audience with us.
Yes, he was.
And first of all, packed house, great audience, nicest people in the band you will ever meet.
Oh, yeah.
And a performance by Magnolia Boulevard that blew the roof off Red Barn the other night.
Yeah, it did. Kind of like a tornado came through.
It was. And Mike, you were in the audience. So my first question for you, what are your thoughts? Or what were your thoughts as you watched Magnolia Boulevard take the Red Barn stage by storm?
I was just proud of my friends. I love their music. I love the people in the band. I love their hearts. And I love how their hearts translate through their voices and their hands and their music. It made just a really proud moment. I mean, because I'm friends with the Red Barn family, and to have two different sets of friends as part of a family that are on one hand and the other for me was really gratifying, actually.
Well, it was great seeing you there as well.
It was fun to be there. It was a great time.
So you had a chance encounter with the guitarist earlier that day.
I did.
And tell us about how one of your Bourbon Barrel guitars ended up on stage that night in the great care of Greg Irwin.
That was pretty cool. I had at times brought some guitars in just to have them, on stage, and had thought about, well, this would be a great chance to maybe have the guitars there. Maybe Greg would be interested in playing them. They look great with the barrels anyway. It just kind of adds to the scenery, especially for a radio show that you can't hear it, but eventually see it. So I had them in my truck, and because I keep them in my truck year round just to stress the necks, whether it's hot or cold. I've been accused of basically abusing my own guitars that I build, but I don't abuse them. I test them, and they hold up really well. So anyway, it was a cold morning, and I had three with me, and I work at Guitar Center part-time, and one of their techs there, and out of the blue, Greg comes in. It's like, hey, man, how you doing? I says, looking forward to catching you guys tonight at Red Barn. Oh, yeah, it'll be fun. And so he did what he wanted to do, and then he said, hey, I really enjoy, seeing your stuff. And I said, well, I've got a few with me. I said, because he had never actually physically seen one. He's just seen pictures of them or played one. And so he had a few minutes. So we went out to my truck, which is kind of like the mobile office, mobile workbench, mobile showroom, and just laid him out on the trunk, or pulled the gate down and just let him. There was three there. I said, pick which one you want. And he kind of looked at me, and I said, no, seriously. I said, take one tonight. I'd like to have you play one if you want to. There's no pressure.
I wish I would have had a camera to capture that.
Well, I actually have a picture of him holding one of them there, which is really cool. I'll share it with you. So he looked at all three of them and just was very humbly. He's such a nice guy, and he's very complimentary. and very encouraging, for me. And as a luthier, as a builder, it always does me good when another guitar player actually has a full appreciation of the guitar that I have built, that I put in their hands. And I never take it for granted, they're all individual, pieces of crafting. And I have friends of mine, try them out and test them. And so I said, here, which one would you like this? How about this one? I said, okay, just take it home, get used to it if you want to, have it with you tonight. Are you serious? I said, yeah, man. I said, if it was a problem, I wouldn't have offered, And so he did. And it was just really cool. It was a little bit of dialogue throughout the day with him. And then we got there, to the show that night and got to see him and went through the sound check and just had him set up. And he played the guitar on one of the songs. And
it was wonderful.
Yeah, it was really gratifying. For me, what I love about Greg, he's just a really cool dude. He's very humble. He's an amazing player and musician, and he's a singer, but not with his voice. He does sing with his hands and the six strings. He really does. And he completely has command and control of whatever guitar is in his hand. And I met him a couple years ago, and when I first heard him play, I hear a lot of people play a lot, and there's not very many, honestly, that really resonate with my spirit about, I could just sit and listen to that, and I hope I get to hear it again. And Greg's one of the few that I've actually met that I can honestly say that about. And his style is unique and different enough compared to how most people play, and he happens to be damn good at it.
Oh, he sure is. So, Mike, this leads us to a segment of the show we're going to call Working in Concert. And this is going to be a feature that we're going to have probably every 2 weeks, which will talk about how music intersects with business and how they complement one another. And the other night, Mike, I was watching people walking into the show, actually pre-show, and they were just mesmerized and stopped in their tracks when they saw those 3 guitars on display. And there was a lot of questions going on from the audience, very curious about the product. They were displayed on the Red Barn stage before and during the concert. So tell us about how you work in concert and how you've combined 2 of your loves to kind of like work together for this wonderful, most exceptional product that you make. Thank you.
I'm a very blessed person. Every day that I get to wake up, I get to do not just one thing I love, but I have a choice to do things that I love. I either get to build my own guitars, work on my own guitars, work on guitars for friends, work on guitars for strangers, play music with friends, play music with strangers, go hear music of friends, hear music of strangers, and any day could have any combination of that recipe. And so it's so wonderful to be able to have this as part of my life. I read years ago, and there's a variety of how the sayings go, but you find something you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life. And, I figure I'm about halfway through mine. And I'm looking forward. I've got so many instruments, so many guitars in my head that have been there from 2 to 30 years, and I pray that I get the chance to build them all.
So you say you see these things in your head first, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a mental creation, and then it turns into the physical creation. Yeah,
I'll be sitting at a traffic light, and I'll see a tree, and I can tell just a lot of the maples and walnuts, and I can tell just by how the branches and the crotches come together what the figure's like underneath the bark, because I can read it. And it's like, I'm glad the tree's there, but I'm also thankful that there's been trees I've been able to rescue that have been at the end of their life, or there's been trunks. And I've got different book-matched slabs that are as big as this desktop here that I've had cut and dried for 20 years. There can be furniture. There's hundreds of guitars literally sitting in the wood that I have. And I was talking to a fellow this week about which pieces I'm going to actually use for guitars, which pieces I could let go for people that want to build, furniture, benches, and tables. And I respect that, how the wood is, how God made it, the age of it, the figure in it. And if it's something that really deserves to stay the size that it is and become a table, then it will, But there's a lot of there that on the guitar side that they're just dying to be born. And they will be.
They sure will be. So you have another love of your life that I'd like to talk about. Mm-hmm. And it's all kind of ties into working in concert as well, because you literally do work in concert.
I do.
As well.
I do.
So tell us about your duo.
I happen to have the good fortune and the blessing to be the musical partner of the always lovely Miss Tatiana McGee. And she and I met in the fall of 2016, and we met over at an open mic, and we met over her Baby Taylor and my Seagull 12 string. And it's a beautiful romantic story, and there's not enough time for it today. But it's really fun to work with her.
Well, we are going to have you on the show real soon,
That'd
so
be
we'll
great.
hear more about that musical match made in heaven.
Thank you.
Let's give Mike a round of applause here.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much for being with us. Mike, where can we learn more about your products?
I have a website, real simple, bourbonbarrelguitar.com, all singular. And the reason it's all singular and real simple is because when I was thinking about, what should we call this? I knew thematically it'd be a joke about, people drinking way too much and they're plastered and anything else. And man, I saw this cool guitar, and it was something about a bourbon barrel. It was a guitar from a bourbon barrel. So I thought, let's make it simple enough that if you're ripped, you can still remember what it is. So bourbonbarrelguitar.com. And then my shop's here in town, and I'm a pretty easy guy to find. And I'm happy to share my guitars and put them in the hands of anybody that wants to play them.
Wonderful. So we will be back after these messages.
Where I come from, the boys are rough, the girls get dirty, marching to a different drum. They may say we are a peculiar people too. One thing's for sure, they can't ignore these Appalachian roots. We got soul in our grass, we put love in our shine, and we still believe in calling our minds can't break us apart. We're joined at the heart, it's more than just pride. Over here on the East Kentucky side, Mama's word is gold in these hollers. Daddy does the best he can, paving a way for our sons and daughters, mining and farming this land. Oh, they may say we are a peculiar people too. One thing's for sure, they can't ignore these Appalachian roots. Ooh, we got soul in our grass, we put love in our shine, and we still believe in calling our minds can't break us apart. We're joined at the heart, it's more than just pride. Over here on the East Kentucky side. Ain't nothing like East Kentucky. Life is hard, but still we're lucky to live in the land of storybook hills. The music is good and the people are real. Ooh, we got soul in our grass, love in our shine. We still believe in calling our minds can't break us apart. We're joined at the heart, it's more than just pride. Over here on the East Kentucky side, ooh, we got soul in our grass, love in our shine. We still believe
We are back, and you are listening to Overtones on Lexington Community Radio WLXU 93.9 FM Lexington. And that was Joanna Oldfield and James Moore of the duo Joanna James. Let's welcome them to the studio. What was the name of that song?
East Kentucky Side.
Awesome. Sounds great. And we also have Jill Hamlin and Reed Fields of Little Bit More. And Ray Adams and Whitney Acke of, I guess we call it Whitney and Ray. Or is it Ray and Whitney?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay. Let's welcome them to the studio. First of all, Jill and Reed came up as big winners at the Lexington Music Awards the other night. And Whitney took home quite the amount of hardware in some categories. And she's looking at me like, what? But she was a triple winner the other night. And Whitney and Ray also won Song of the Year, right?
Yeah, we did.
So tell us about your other categories, Whitney.
Oh, let's see. I won for singer-songwriter, which I'm nominated for every year, and I never win. So I was really not expecting that.
So this was the first time you won that category?
Yeah, I was like always the bridesmaid for that category. Which was fine, but I was not prepared at all. And then Ray Adams and I won for Song of the Year. And then the Twisted Cork won for the community service for our songwriters in the round. So we had a good time.
Wonderful. And Jill and Reed, you took home what I call the big prize. On the Grammys, it would be the big prize, right? The Album of the Year. And I think Jill could have also won the category for the most excited win.
Loved it.
It was so awesome watching Jill win this award and the excitement that went up on the stage. So, Jill, let me ask you, since you were very excited.
Oh, gosh.
What did this mean to you?
Oh my goodness. It meant, well, it was just an honor. I mean, it still really hasn't set in. I don't think that we actually won this award. It was just very humbling and very exciting, and, just to be in a room with all those singers and songwriters and performers and musicians, just, everybody being there together to be together and to support each other. That was just a miracle, and, just wonderful to experience. And then, we heard our name, and then kind of, I guess the lights went out and I lost my mind.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, it was, I call it my
very
Price is Right
entertaining.
moment. It's like, oh my gosh, and I was running and smacking people's
did look
hands.
like a Price is Right.
It really was. It was so charming.
I
It
couldn't
was
keep up with
charming.
her. Yeah, I couldn't keep up with her, so I was trying to.
Running behind her.
Yeah.
What did this mean to you?
I was just, we put a lot of hard work in this, and I know everybody did in that category. It was just like all of our, we have a lot of people that support us, and it kind of for them too as well, because this music, we had a lot of people supporting buy the album, so making that worthwhile, I guess. Even another time having that album, we were fortunate enough to have the album release party over at the Twisted Cork, and we had so much support out for that, and it was just a great night, and just kind of, we had a great group of guys that were supposed to come on stage with us, and they didn't. I think they were embarrassed of us after Jill ran down there. But the band that recorded with us, Gerald Blevins and Vernon Lewis and Buddy Richardson, and those guys didn't show up on stage, and we were so excited to be there, we didn't even mention them. So we felt bad about that.
Well, we'll mention them now.
Yeah, we're mentioning them now. So and hopefully, we've got a EP in the works here. We're going to try to start working on pretty soon. We've got enough material now to do that. So, and a shout out to Station West of Nashville, Kyle Manor, who's a Kentucky boy, so we can shout out to him, and he did a great job helping produce and engineer that thing for us. So just a great night.
Wonderful. And Jill and Reed are kind of like the Bluebird Cafe stars, right?
They are.
So, do you ever run into Deacon Claiborne and Raina James?
No, not yet. We have not, but when we do, we'll tell him to say hello.
Have you seen any celebrities come into the cafe
Oh gosh.
while you're there?
I think Don Schlitz
Don
played.
Schlitz.
He was a feature writer one night, and he's had enough hits that anybody could quit after writing half the hits that he's written. So it was pretty neat to meet him, and every time you're in there, there's a chance to see, anybody, and that was very humbling. And when we went to audition at the Bluebird, it was like 70 songwriters in a room. We've never been in Nashville playing. We'd never been there, and they took 5 out of the audition. I think it said most 5. So and you're in the room elbow to elbow, and all those songwriters that are really good. And we didn't have a lot of confidence, and we were nervous, really nervous. And we both told each other when we left that we wouldn't make it that round. And I think they got the wrong number, but they picked us.
We are so glad they did
We
that.
answered the call anyway.
We are going to talk more with a little bit more and Ray and Whitney, but I want to transition back over to Joanna James. First of all, one of the two of you, tell me about Joanna James.
Wow. So we actually got started back in 2015
Yeah, 2015
Yeah.
in the fall.
in the fall, and we don't really tell a lot of people this, but we met on Craigslist. So
So,
we
so
say
far,
music
That's
yeah.
a great
music
story.
directory is what we actually say. But we were both looking for artists to collaborate musically, and it just so happened that it worked out.
Yeah.
So we've been together writing music ever since, and been playing live for the last 2 years. We actually have a music history before we got together. James has played with several Lexington acts over the years, and I still perform with a vocal group in East Kentucky. So
Well, it's wonderful. And how about you?
Well, we have, I'll say that with our duo, one of the fun things is we just write a lot of music. And we're actually finishing our first album, which is a tribute to Kentucky. We've written 12 original songs for that. And then Joanna's got one we're putting on there too that she wrote. So they're all, well, we're including My Old Kentucky Home. We obviously didn't write that, but we're doing our own version of it. And but we've written so many songs, so we're hopefully going to do some more albums in time. We've got a lot of material, but there's just some chemistry we have that seems to work.
Well, Warren and I saw you, I guess for the first time we had seen you was at the Twisted Cork at Songwriters in the Round. And Whitney, talk to us about Joanna James.
Oh my gosh, they're amazing. They do have, it's interesting, for duos, I think immediately the audience can sense if there is an authentic connection musically between the two or not. And they have just a very natural, authentic connection. You can feel it, you can see it. They're both incredible. Joanna is one of my favorite vocalists, without a doubt. James is an incredible instrumentalist. He plays everything and plays it so well. So putting them together is just, it's quite magical.
Wonderful. Well, Joanna is here for two reasons today, to bless us with the wonderful songs, but she's going to be my sidekick for the segment of the show called This Is My Town. So we're going to try to, every couple of weeks, have artists come in and sing a special song about a Kentucky city, a town, or an economic, social condition in the state. And I think this is a really good way to promote the songwriters of this state and the wonderful things that they do. And I will just applaud you for having the Songwriters in the Round as one of the forums that people can share their music in that way.
Oh yeah, we love it.
So Joanna will be joining me to kind of introduce some of these other artists that we're going to have on. But today, I'm going to ask her to kind of share, as they mentioned, you have an entire CD, right, based on Kentucky songs.
Yes.
And that's coming out.
hopefully the beginning of April.
We're just fine tuning a few little things on. We about got it ready to go. So.
Okay, well, what song are you going to sing for us next?
I think we're going to do West Kentucky Waterlands.
Okay, can you give us some background on the songs?
Well, the song actually is about the land between the lakes. So when we wrote the album, we were trying to include as many aspects of Kentucky as we could and not leave anyone out.
Yeah, and Joanna's from Eastern Kentucky, and I'm from Central, so we were getting a little bit, maybe a little bit biased on our end of the state. We're like, we better write
We're gonna have to get some balance in
Western
there, right?
Kentucky, right?
Yeah, so we had to put something in there, and it came up, what better thing to write about when you think of Western Kentucky, except for Land Between the Lakes. I know they do have the Bluegrass, Blues, and Barbecue Festival, but for some reason, West Kentucky Waterlands had the ring to it. So,
Well, wonderful. Let's hear one more from Joanna James.
There's of Golden Pond became a memory. And all the lakes with the land in between, we know. These western waterlands of Kentucky make me proud to call her home. They come from near and far to the place where two rivers run as one. The Tennessee and Cumberland, just look at what they have become, together as one. Just below Paducah and west of Bowling Green, there's an inland paradise so lovely and pristine. And all the lakes with the land in between, we know. All these western waterlands of Kentucky make me proud to call her home. And all the lakes with the land in between, we know. All these western waterlands of Kentucky make me proud to call her home. There's a land in the west north of Tennessee, bordered by the Ohio and Mississippi.
That was great. Wonderful.
Thank
Great
you.
job. We will be back after these messages.
Wake up drunk in the morning and go to bed stoned. In the middle of July, I can't shake the cold. On this one-lane stretch of highway just outside of town, where I am, where I am, where I am, where I am. One last pack of cigarettes. Today's no time to quit. Cut off dates on the T-bone. Rent's already spent. Where I am, where I am, where I am, where I am. The blue one keeps me crazy. The red one makes me sing. Put them both together. won't scream your name. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Standing on the outside looking in, wearing nothing but my shame. Daddy's baby girl, grown up now, has the devil by the hand. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Mama, she's quit crying. I'm her one regret. Friends are just an enemy I haven't made yet. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you?
You've been listening to A Little Bit More. And what was the name of that song?
Where I
There you
am.
go.
Where I Am. Absolutely beautiful. That's my favorite, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Whitney, could you talk to what does A Little Bit More's music mean to the audience at the Twisted Cork? They appear regularly.
They do.
And-
Yeah, we have them as much as they'll come.
Yes.
They have a huge fan base at the Twisted Cork. We all fell in love with them immediately. These are two of my very best friends. It was an instant friendship, I think, for all of us at the Twisted Cork, and A Little Bit More. We fell in love with them. They are what we call our kind of people. They get us, we get them, and it just works. They're incredibly talented. Their writing is just beyond. I know exactly why the Bluebird Cafe called y'all.
We were lost and they took us in.
We are glad they did, but we like having you here too. So
Thank you for having us.
I don't know. The best way I can describe the Twisted Cork, and we've had this conversation before, is that it's kind of a cross between the TV show Cheers and Northern Exposure. For some reason, it has this just very, very small hometown feel to it.
It's a strange place. You cannot come there and not get a hug and 20 questions about your life. So if you like to be incognito, I tell people just don't come. Yeah, or make up something.
It's a reality show waiting to happen.
It is. I've been asking.
Oh, there's a good idea. There's a thought. So, Jill and Reed, tell us a little bit more about how your band formed, and then I'd like to hear one more song from you.
We actually met at a garage jam. We came from different backgrounds in music. Jill had put out an album before, and she did a lot of traditional stuff, and hopefully we can touch on some of that. But and it led to playing in a cover band, and we were trying to write stuff, and we were able to do a few of our songs with a cover band. I think we just wanted maybe to put a little bit more into our music than everybody was able to in that situation. It was just a bad time for everyone, and we kind of had a little disagreement between bandmates, as you always have. There's always somebody in the band that makes it hard to be a band. But we decided we were going to go write on our own and go a different route after things kind of dwindled out with that band, and it's been a great experience for us, and just by the award the other night was kind of a little bit of gratification for the work we put in, and we want to thank everyone that supported us, and the Cork You were talking about Twisted Cork. It's just home to us. It's a home away from homes. And from day one, we walked in there and we felt
your
like
home court.
We felt like we'd been there forever. We saw a place. We looked for music venues online, and I think I made a call and talked to Whitney.
I think so.
I think I made a call and asked her, what would we have to do, and she said there's an open mic. So we came down and checked it out, and then we came down and played, and we just loved it ever since.
Wonderful. You all also made an appearance on Red Barn earlier. I guess now we say later or last year. How about that?
We did. It was a great experience. We absolutely loved it. That show is so much fun, and it's very, very family friendly and very inviting, and they just opened their arms to us and our bandmates as well, and just had an absolute blast. And we still keep talking about our experience with the Red Barn and how much fun it was.
Huge turnout that night.
It was.
It was a great night.
It was
We
a
had
great
a blast.
night. Yes.
Well, we were really glad to have you.
Aw.
What are you going to sing for us next?
I believe Reed's gonna do this song that he wrote called "Crooked Town."
Okay, wonderful.
I guess this kind of goes in your
Yes.
Eastern Kentucky. I know if you, I guess anywhere you have people that you have corrupt politics. So, and you have some situations where some families have more power and they try to keep that power and kind of oppress some of the people that are there. So it's kind of what this song's about. And if this hits home with you, hopefully.
This will be in the This Is My Town segment. So
Hopefully this
thank you for
didn't,
bringing a Kentucky song.
Doesn't ruffle too many feathers, but maybe it'll open some eyes because I think most people can appreciate it. So
We will.
it's called
Jill and
Crooked
Reed,
Town.
a little bit more.
You're still around. I can't believe you spent your life in this crooked town. You always dreamed of doing big things. You might have had a chance with a better last name. It's such a shame. But money talks. So I guess that's why you and I never had much say at all. And it ain't hard to lay the blame when the few with it all can buy their way. It's always been the same. But you got by. Work to earn everything you had in this life. But somehow you can't explain why the ones with the most never have to strain. I always had it made. It didn't turn out like you planned. Still, you never let it get you down. You stayed here till the end. And it's over now. Tomorrow they'll be laying you in the ground. And I'm gonna feel the pain, but I know you're better off anyway. Just what made you stay? And I'm still around. I can't believe I spend my life in this crooked town.
Thank you for singing that.
You're welcome.
Where can we learn more about a little bit more?
Well, obviously, right here on this wonderful radio show. But you can find our music on iTunes, on Amazon. You can also visit our website, which is alittlebitmoremusic.com, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and
CD Baby.
CD Baby.
All of
and,
the above.
And all of that loveliness, yes.
The album's called Silhouettes, by the way.
Okay.
Well, thank you for being with us.
Thank you
you
for
so
having
much.
us.
We will be back with more of a little bit more and more after the break.
holding on to everything that's thrown our way. It's been 3 damn years of the same damn thing. A chance of a lifetime wasted on this waiting game. Let us be simple, let us stay strong till we arrive. Let us be patient, let us have faith. This our promise, my love, we will survive till we arrive. Don't ask for much, trying not to complain. Understand the damn and what we became. For God has suffered, but we must suffer to rid of our sins one day. Let us be simple, let us stay strong till we arrive. Let us be patient, let us have faith. This our promise, my love, we will survive till we arrive. Tied at the stake for what we do. We burned off the ropes that held us to life full of bad mistakes, retribution, heartache and shame. Let us be simple, let us be strong till we arrive. Let us be patient, let us have faith. This our promise, our love, we'll survive till we arrive. Let us be simple, let us stay strong till we arrive. Let us be patient, let us have faith. This our promise, my love, we will survive till we arrive.
Wonderful. So on Sunday nights at the Twisted Cork, you can probably see most of everybody that's in this room. We're legends in our own mind, I think, Ray. Ray, talk to us about the Twisted Cork's open mic. Maybe give us the history and the background.
The Red Barn open mic. We have done open mic at the Twisted Cork for several years, and you don't see open mic that's lasts very long. It's a hard event to have. We luckily got a situation where we can continue to have open mics. We've seen a lot of amazing talent in and out of there. Anything from comics to about every type of music possible to be. We've seen some amazing guitar players, singers, writers. We find a lot of talent that we have booked at the Cork through the open mic, and a lot of friendships are made through our open mic also.
I totally agree with that. We are real grateful for all of these friendships that are in the room today. So let me just ask Jill and Reed to comment on Ray and Whitney's talent.
Oh,
And
gosh.
what do you think they bring to an audience that's listening to them?
This is not something that I think. This
Ray's
is
passing
something-
money.
Yeah, this is something that I know, but Ray and Whitney bring absolute nothing but heart and soul to the open mic and to the just music and songwriting. I mean, when you listen to their lyrics and you listen to them singing together in their harmonies, it's just it's better than syrup on waffles. I mean, it's absolutely just amazing.
We're having an appreciation fest in here, and money is flying everywhere now.
It is, and I don't give change, Ray. Just so you know.
Well, you talked about the chemistry and the chemistry is there. It's just you can just hear their harmonies, their voices fit so well, and I don't think all singers can pair up and be a duo. It's just I think you just have to have a certain fit, and I know these other two groups in there have it because it's obvious. We heard that tonight, so we can tell both that, and we just enjoy being around them. We feel like we learn from them.
Absolutely.
I feel like every time you're around songwriters, you need to learn something, or guitar players, either one. So blessed to be friends.
Thanks, guys.
So, Joanna and James, do you care to weigh in on this situation?
Well, we are just thrilled to be a part of your guys' music community, or I guess getting involved with it. I'm from East Kentucky. James is actually from here in Lexington, so you guys are just so talented and so warm and inviting as well, because, I'm not from here. I live almost 2 hours away. So you guys have just kind of welcomed us in like a part of your family, and it means a lot.
The more the merrier.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes, I've really
Yes.
benefited from getting to know you all and have enjoyed it, and so just just the sincerity that you all have with the songwriting and playing means a lot.
I feel like we should all hug.
Well, how about, since it's so tight in here and it's hard to make some space for any hugging to go on, how about we're going to end with a good old-fashioned jam session with all three of our dynamic duos. And we have Warren in the studio, too. Maybe we can get him to sing along with us. And we're going to close it with a Peaceful, Easy Feeling. Hit it, guys.
I like the way your sparkling earrings against your skin so bright. I wanna sleep with you in the desert tonight, with a billion stars all around. 'Cause I've got a peaceful, I found out a long time ago what a woman can do to your soul. Oh, but she can't take you anywhere. Don't already know how it goes. But I've got a peaceful,
The talent that's in this room. Wow. Well, what a great show today. Dynamic Duos. Special thanks to all of you and also for Mike Mankel for making this third episode of Overtones so meaningful, so special. As we close the show today, you can hear Magnolia Boulevard's performance on WLXU 93.9 FM, Lexington Community Radio, this Sunday at 9 a.m. And this week on Red Barn Live, just a reminder, Narrow Road Gospel Bluegrass, 8 p.m. Lexington Arts Place. More information on redbarnradio.com. Next week, we will be talking to even more musical guests, and this is Renee Collins, Working in Concert, to remind you, when words fail, music speaks. Have a great week filled with music, love, family, and friends. Goodbye, everyone.